I come from a decidedly kind of libertarian instinct when it comes to politics. I don't know if that's a dirty word on the NYU campus, but that's what and it's mostly in the sense of finding sort of individual autonomy to be profoundly sacred, and to be finding things, individuals acting according to their own volition and their own desires to be what produces the things that I find most beautiful and valuable in sort of the human experience. But you look around and you'll see a lot of our fellow creatures are more than willing to jettison their essential sort of transcendent freedom as long as you tell them a particular story, right? As long as you make them feel like they're part of some larger transcendent purpose. If you tell them that there's an enemy someplace else, whether it's a Republican or it's the Presbyterians, right? That if you can create enemies, if you can do a lot of the techniques you see in this film, you can get people to shut that component down and to form into tribes. And so for North Korea, I think it's a very extreme example of this, but in its extremity, it serves as a good case study of how do you get people to be complicit in their own subjugation. And I don't at all discount the other components of the totalitarian apparatus there, the labor camps, the secret police, the information blockades. Those also play roles. But I think in addition to all that, the national ideology as fueled by propaganda plays an absolutely essential element. And in its particulars is what really distinguishes this country from a lot of other failed totalitarian experiments. What is said has to have some connection to the lived reality of the people. So you can obviously do some embellishments, but it makes sense to have the Americans be the enemy, given that the actual fact of the matter is, during the Korean War, they conducted this incendiary bombing campaign that killed an estimated 2 million Koreans. Like, it makes sense for the Americans to be the enemy, right? It makes sense to have a Confucian family structure be at the very center of the entire power structure there, because that's built into a very genuine, concrete cultural heritage of this country. So there is some sense of what the facts of the matter is. But also, if you see a lot of the North Korean ideology purely as a religion, and you judge it on that, then it stops becoming so ludicrous that people would believe this stuff, because people, without being coerced, will believe what I think are relatively fanciful things if it's within a religious institution or a religious superstructure.